In the hustle of our daily lives, we often wear stress like a badge of honor. But this relentless grind is taking a toll on our health, our families, and our communities. Studies show that workplace stress can lead to anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. It's not just about meeting deadlines. It's about the silent struggle that many face behind closed doors. We need to recognize this epidemic and prioritize mental well-being. Simple changes, like setting boundaries and taking breaks, can make a world of difference. Let's shift the narrative from productivity at all costs to a healthier, more balanced approach to work and life. Workplace stress isn't a new phenomenon, but the scale we're seeing today is unprecedented. Think about it. 83% of U.S. workers report feeling stressed because of their jobs. That's a staggering number. Every single day, 1 million employees miss work due to stress. It's not just about tight deadlines anymore. It's about job insecurity, unrealistic expectations, toxic environments, and that elusive work-life balance that feels more like a myth than a reality that we're living in what I'd call a silent epidemic. Unlike heart disease or diabetes, stress often goes undiagnosed until it's wreaked havoc on our mental health, relationships, and even our physical well-being. It creeps up on us, often disguised as fatigue or irritability, and before we know it, we're in a downward spiral. Let's break it down. Job insecurity is a huge contributor. In today's economy, many of us are worried about keeping our jobs, and that constant anxiety can be paralyzing. Then there are unrealistic expectations. We're expected to do more with less, to be available 24/7, and to perform at peak levels without the resources or support we need. It's no wonder we feel overwhelmed. Toxic workplaces add another layer of stress. Whether it's a micromanaging boss, office politics, or a lack of support from colleagues, these environments can drain our energy and motivation. It's hard to thrive when you're constantly navigating landmines instead of collaborating with a supportive team. And let's not forget about work-life balance. The lines between our professional and personal lives have blurred significantly. With remote work becoming the norm, many of us find it challenging to disconnect. We're answering emails at dinner, working late into the night, and sacrificing our personal time. This imbalance doesn't just affect our productivity. It impacts our relationships and our health. The truth is, we need to start talking about stress openly. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a reality for so many of us. We need to advocate for healthier work environments, set boundaries, and prioritize our well-being. It's time to recognize that stress is not just a personal issue. It's a workplace issue that requires collective action. So, what can we do? First, we can start by acknowledging our feelings and sharing them with others. Whether it's a trusted colleague or a mental health professional, talking about stress can be incredibly liberating. Next, we can push for changes in our workplaces, advocating for policies that promote mental health, like flexible hours or wellness programs. Let's also make a conscious effort to create a culture where it's okay to take breaks, to step away from our screens, and to prioritize our mental health. After all, a healthy workforce is a productive workforce. It's time to break the silence around workplace stress and take action before it takes a toll on us. We owe it to ourselves and to each other. The always-on work culture has become a badge of honor in many companies. You know what I mean? Slack pings at all hours, weekend emails that demand immediate attention, and those urgent meetings scheduled at midnight. It's as if we've collectively agreed that our personal lives are secondary to the demands of the job. And let's not forget the hustle culture that glorifies overworking. If you're not burning the midnight oil, somehow you're not ambitious enough. This mindset is toxic. It's like we've created a competition where the prize is exhaustion. Employees are praised for sacrificing sleep, family time, and even their health. We wear burnout like a medal of honor, convincing ourselves that if we're not suffering, we're not dedicated. But at what cost? Toxic workplaces thrive on this mentality. Favoritism runs rampant, recognition is scarce, and micromanagement is the norm. It creates an environment where people feel undervalued and overworked. The irony is that while companies claim to value productivity, they often ignore the very humanity of their employees. There's a quote that resonates deeply. Corporate America has mastered the art of extracting productivity while ignoring humanity. It's a stark reminder that we're not just cogs in a machine. We're individuals with lives, dreams, and needs beyond the office walls. Imagine a workplace where employees are encouraged to disconnect, where taking a break is seen as a strength, not a weakness. A place where recognition is genuine and collaboration thrives without the shadow of micromanagement. We need to shift the narrative. Let's redefine ambition, not as the relentless pursuit of work at the expense of our well-being, but as a balanced approach that values both productivity and humanity. It's time to challenge the status quo and create corporate cultures that uplift rather than drain. Let's advocate for a work environment that respects boundaries, promotes mental health, and recognizes the value of every individual. Because when we prioritize humanity, we don't just improve employee satisfaction. We enhance productivity in a sustainable way. It's time to reclaim our time, our health, and our lives. Stress isn't just about feeling tense. It's a silent epidemic with a staggering human cost. Picture this. You're at your desk, the clock is ticking, and the emails keep piling up. You feel that familiar knot in your stomach, but it's more than just a bad day. It's anxiety creeping in, whispering doubts about your worth and capabilities. Now let's talk about Sarah. She's 35, an analyst in New York. On paper, she's the definition of success, great job, impressive title. But behind closed doors, it's a different story. Sarah is exhausted. She's losing her hair, a physical manifestation of the stress that's consuming her. She barely sees her kids, and when she does, she's too drained to engage. Imagine her sitting in her car, tears streaming down her face, trying to muster the strength to walk into yet another meeting. Multiply Sarah by millions, and you start to see the real picture of corporate America today. This isn't just a personal struggle, it's a societal issue. Mental health problems like anxiety and depression are skyrocketing. Burnout is becoming the norm, and emotional exhaustion is a daily reality for so many. But it doesn't stop there. The physical toll is just as alarming. Stress can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and even obesity. It's a vicious cycle. Stress makes you unhealthy, and being unhealthy makes you more stressed. And let's not forget insomnia. How can you function when you can't even get a good night's sleep? Then there's the social aspect. Stress can fracture relationships, creating distance between partners, friends, and even parents and their children. It breeds loneliness as people retreat into their shells, feeling like they're the only ones struggling. We need to recognize that stress is not just an individual issue. It's a collective crisis. It's time to talk about it openly, to support one another, and to find ways to manage it. We can't keep ignoring the signs. Sarah's story is just one of many, but it's a wake-up call for all of us. Let's break the silence and start prioritizing our mental and physical well-being before it's too late. Pushing harder for productivity seems like a no-brainer, right? The more we grind, the more we achieve. But here's the kicker. That mindset is actually a recipe for disaster. Stress doesn't just sap our energy, it cripples our productivity. The World Health Organization estimates that stress costs American businesses a staggering $300 billion a year. That's not just a number, it's a wake-up call. Think about it. Absenteeism, turnover, and skyrocketing health costs are all symptoms of a deeper issue. When employees are overwhelmed, they don't just take sick days, they leave the company altogether. And what about those who stick around? Many of them resort to quiet quitting, where they do the bare minimum to get by. They're physically present but mentally checked out. It's like having a car that looks great on the outside but is barely running on the inside. The irony is striking. Companies are losing money by ignoring employee well-being. They think that by pushing their teams harder, they'll get better results. But in reality, they're just burning people out. When employees are stressed, their creativity plummets, their decision-making falters, and their engagement dwindles. It's a vicious cycle that leads to diminished returns. Let's break this down. Stress isn't just a personal issue, it's an economic issue. When employees are healthy, both mentally and physically, they're more productive, more innovative, and more committed to their work. Investing in employee well-being isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a smart business strategy. Companies that prioritize mental health see lower turnover rates, higher morale, and ultimately, better financial performance. So, what can companies do? Start by fostering a culture that values work-life balance. Encourage breaks, promote mental health days, and create an environment where employees feel safe to express their concerns. It's about creating a workplace where people can thrive, not just survive. In a world where productivity is often measured by hours worked, it's time to shift the focus. Let's measure productivity by the quality of work and the well-being of employees. When we prioritize mental health, we're not just investing in our teams, we're investing in the future of our businesses. It's time to recognize that a happy, healthy workforce is the key to sustainable success. I want to talk about something that's been weighing on my mind: stress in the workplace. It's a topic that often gets brushed under the rug, but it's time we bring it into the light. In many corporate environments, talking about stress is seen as a sign of weakness. You mention feeling overwhelmed, and suddenly you're labeled as someone who can't handle the pressure. It's as if admitting you're struggling is a ticket to being sidelined, or worse, passed over for that promotion you've been working so hard for. This fear of being seen as not a team player is crippling. We're conditioned to believe that we should always be on our A game, pushing through the stress and showing up with a smile, even when we're crumbling inside. The irony is that this culture of silence only perpetuates the problem. We're all in this together, yet we feel isolated in our struggles. It's like we're all wearing masks, pretending everything is fine while inside we're battling our own demons. And let's talk about normalization. Stress has become so commonplace that it's mistaken for just part of the job. We hear phrases like, "That's just how it is," or "You'll get used to it." But what does that even mean? Getting used to feeling anxious, exhausted, and burnt out? That's not a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. It's a signal that something is seriously wrong, not just with us as individuals, but with the system itself. Many employees suffer in silence, thinking they're alone in this struggle. They push through, day after day, until they either quit or collapse under the weight of it all. I've seen it happen. Talented, dedicated individuals who were once full of passion and creativity, reduced to shadows of themselves because they felt they had no other option. It's heartbreaking that we need to change the narrative. Stress shouldn't be a dirty word. It's a human experience, and acknowledging it doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. We need to create environments where it's safe to talk about our mental health, where vulnerability is seen as strength, not a liability. Imagine a workplace where we support each other, where sharing our struggles leads to solutions rather than stigma. That Let's normalize the conversation around stress. Let's break down the walls that keep us from being honest about how we feel. It's time to shift our perspective and realize that taking care of our mental health is just as important as meeting deadlines or hitting targets. We owe it to ourselves and to each other to foster a culture of openness and support. Because at the end of the day, we're all human, and we all deserve to thrive, not just survive. Setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Imagine this. You've just wrapped up a long day, and the last thing you want is to see a flood of emails pop up on your phone. That's why it's essential to establish a rule for yourself: no emails after hours. It's not just about shutting down your laptop. It's about reclaiming your time and mental space. Taking PTO should never come with guilt. You deserve that break, and your productivity will thank you for it. Prioritizing mental health is another game changer. Therapy, mindfulness, and exercise aren't just buzzwords. They're vital tools for navigating the stresses of modern work life. Therapy provides a safe space to unpack your thoughts, while mindfulness helps you stay grounded in the chaos. And let's not forget about exercise. Whether it's a brisk walk or a full workout, moving your body can do wonders for your mental clarity and mood. Building a support system is equally important. Surround yourself with coworkers who understand your struggles, friends who uplift you, and family who provide that unconditional support. It's about creating a network that encourages you to thrive, both personally and professionally. Now, let's shift gears and talk about what companies can do. Flexible work policies are a must. Remote or hybrid options allow employees to tailor their work environment to what suits them best. This flexibility can lead to happier, more productive teams. Companies should also invest in mental health programs and stress management training. These initiatives show employees that their well-being is a priority, not just an afterthought. Culture plays a significant role in this equation. Companies need to reward creativity and results, not just the number of hours clocked in. Take Microsoft Japan, for example. They tested a 4-day workweek and saw productivity soar by 40%. That's a staggering statistic that speaks volumes about the potential of a well-rested workforce. Some startups are even implementing no-meeting Fridays to combat burnout. Imagine having a day free from back-to-back meetings, where you can focus on your work without interruptions. It's a simple yet effective way to foster creativity and reduce stress in the end, breaking the cycle of burnout requires a collective effort. Employees must advocate for their needs, while companies must listen and adapt. By setting boundaries, prioritizing mental health, and fostering supportive environments, we can create a workplace that not only values productivity, but also the well-being of every individual. It's time to make these changes for ourselves and for the future of work. We're in the midst of a stress epidemic, and it's not just about individuals feeling overwhelmed. It's about how America defines success. Right now, success is often equated with working endlessly, chasing after titles, and sacrificing our personal lives. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor, as if the number of hours we clock in somehow validates our worth. But what if we flipped the script? Imagine a definition of success that prioritizes balance, health, and fulfillment. What if we measured productivity not by how many hours we grind, but by how sustainable our efforts are? The truth is, when we glorify the hustle, we're not just pushing ourselves to the brink, we're normalizing a culture of burnout. Think about it. How many times have you felt guilty for taking a break, or felt pressure to respond to emails at all hours? This constant chase is not just unhealthy, it's unsustainable. If we keep down this path, the stress epidemic will only deepen, affecting not just individuals, but entire organizations and communities. Now, picture a different future. A future where mental health is prioritized, where compassion is woven into the fabric of corporate culture. What if we started valuing boundaries? What if we encouraged employees to take their vacation days without guilt, to leave work at a reasonable hour, and to focus on their well-being? In 10 years, corporate America could look radically different. We could foster environments where creativity flourishes, where people feel valued beyond their output, and where collaboration thrives over competition. It's time to redefine success. Let's shift the narrative from hustle to harmony. Let's celebrate those who prioritize their mental health and well-being. When we start valuing balance over busyness, we not only improve individual lives, but also create a healthier, more productive society. The choice is ours. Let's choose a future where success is synonymous with fulfillment, not exhaustion. Workplace stress is often brushed aside as a personal issue, but let's face it, it's a cultural and systemic problem that affects us all. It's a silent epidemic that has infiltrated our offices, our homes, and our minds. But here's the truth, it's not unstoppable. We have the power to change this narrative. Awareness is the first step. Recognizing that stress isn't just a personal weakness, but a reflection of the environment we work in, is crucial. When we start to understand the factors contributing to our stress, like unrealistic deadlines, lack of support, or toxic workplace cultures, we can begin to address them. It's not just about surviving the day. It's about thriving in our roles. Setting boundaries is equally important. We need to learn to say no, to prioritize our mental health over endless tasks. It's okay to step back and take a breather. Remember, your job is a part of your life, but it should never consume your entire existence. We must advocate for ourselves and for each other, creating a culture where it's acceptable to take a break, to ask for help, and to speak up about our struggles. Courage plays a vital role in this transformation. It takes courage to challenge the status quo, to speak out against practices that harm our well-being. Leaders need to step up and foster environments where employees feel safe to express their concerns. It's about creating a workplace where mental health is prioritized, where employees are valued as whole individuals, not just cogs in a machine that lets make workplace well-being part of the conversation. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can break the silence and start a movement towards healthier work environments. Change begins with us. Let's not wait any longer.